I'm Jon Marshall, and we're Suncoast NPI ITV, and we're coming at you now. Hey, good morning, everybody. I'm Jon Marshall, Suncoast NPI, and we're coming back to you live with a new, fresh segment coming the week after St. Paddy's Day. And again, this is a value add for our Suncoast NPI members to come on and get on this TV show that's up here in Port Richey, hosted and run by John Gasson with WeBeam TV and Tampa Bay Multimedia. They've been doing it over 35 years. They're absolute rock stars in what they do, in the content and the professionalism that they bring to the marketplace is insane. So for Suncoast NPI members to be on this show, you need to be running, not walking, to get on this for a lot of different reasons, and we can talk about that. But if you're just leaning in, you're like, wow, this is incredible, you can actually get involved with this. You can get involved with your company, your organization, or even just do a business show for yourself. It's something it's video. As Mr. Gasson likes to say, if you're not doing video, you're going to die. And that's where it's at. And we can get on the mountaintop and scream to the masses of what we're doing. And we bring it to this WeBeam TV, not we, they bring it to 1 million plus viewers, of which 68% are in the Tampa Bay area. So incredible opportunity. So again, I'm Jon Marshall. I'm the owner of Suncoast NPI, and this is Suncoast NPI TV. Thanks for leaning in. Thanks for getting a look at us and what we're all about. And today we have an incredible lineup with we have Sam with Second Opinion Cooling coming up, and then we have Chris Mills with McKinley Engineering, and then we are going to round out today with Bobby Paolini with Berkshire Hathaway, and all of them bringing nuggets to the table, and that are just going to be something that's going to help to grow you and grow your knowledge base and just make you a better person. So thanks for leaning in. And if you're enjoying what you see, we do more than a TV show. We're actually a 29-year young, 29 this May actually, 29-year young, locally owned, which is me, world-class, seat-specific referral networking organization with a community look and feel. So what does that mean if you boil it down? If you're looking at this and you're watching on TV, we're seat specific, so you lock out your competition, and immediately you're sitting in a chapter, you're sitting in a room that's full of other like-minded business professionals that are there to help you grow your business. So the main reason people sign up for Suncoast NPI and a seat-specific referral organization is to make money, and we'll get into that. But there's so much more that actually happens once you get involved, and that's probably my why I bought it. God's created me and crafted me with a natural gift of bringing an abundance energy to the table, to naturally connect other people, to naturally really try to encourage individuals and businesses to get better at what they do. My prior life before this, my beautiful wife Amanda and I moved here from San Francisco in 2010, and we really came here to slow down and raise our family. I was in tech sales for 20 plus years before coming here, anywhere from VP of sales to individual contributor, helping tech companies take it to the next level, to where they either get bought out or go public. So my mindset is always an entrepreneur mindset. Suncoast NPI is one business that I own, and I want to really just kind of tee in and talk about education. One of the things I really think that, and I'm going to read some quotes in a second, but one of the things, if you're not learning, if you're not reading books, if you're not bettering yourself, at some point you're going to get left behind. In a lot of ways, it's going to be sooner than later. Like how everything's moving with social media, and information just comes so quickly. And so it's really important. I like to call it stackable education, stackable learnings. So always continuing to get better. And one of the things that we do within our membership, within our chapters, is every week we do a Monday morning sip of coffee. So every morning we deliver out a video that's to all the NPI members, and it's designed currently today around 4 business practices. That's business networking, because it's a natural fit for the networking referral organization, sales, best practices, business operations best practices, and marketing best practices. We bring this as a value add to our membership base, and we do this. Our why for doing that, we're very confident that iron sharpens iron, and if we can continue to raise people up, raise individuals up, help them get better, it's just going to continue to make us the elite organization that we are in the Tampa Bay area. And so some quotes on education as we get ready to watch this video. Education is not preparation for life. Education is life itself. An investment in knowledge pays the best interest. That's Mr. Benjamin Franklin. Education is the most powerful weapon which can use to change the world. By Nelson Mandela. Education is the passport to the future, for tomorrow belongs to those who prepare for it today. That's Mr. Malcolm X. Change is the end result of all true learning. And develop a passion for learning. If you do, you will never cease to grow. And I'll close out with Henry Ford. Anyone who stops learning is old, whether you're at 20 or 80. Anyone who keeps learning stays young. So with that, take a look at a video we have for you.
Let's discuss some behavior to avoid when asking for a referral. There are going to be some times when you meet with other business owners or managers, and some of the things that they might say will leave you in a state of shock and awe, and not necessarily in a good way. You might be left shaking your head, you might be confused, or wondering why these people are ever able to manage a business of their own. Adding insult to injury, this is actually when they're going to ask you for a referral for their business, thereby putting your reputation on the line. So what exactly causes this shock and awe? The specifics vary for every given situation, but common things that come up tend to be divulging unethical business practices, revealing questionable character traits, or blatant disregard for their own customers. It's unlikely that you're going to want to refer to these people, lending credence to these bad habits, or damage your own reputation. A business owner is probably not going to come right out and say that they do things unethically or do things improperly. Usually it'll come across as someone who asks to be paid in cash and then remarks that the government doesn't need to know. It could be someone that's late for a meeting and then they mention that it was a wild night the night before. But it could also be someone that complains about customers regularly and even suggests that they avoid calls. One of the great things about business owners networking is the ability to make referrals all around, but it's very important that you're referring to people that are accountable and credible because it reflects back to your reputation and ultimately your business. This has been Behaviors to Avoid when making a referral. Thanks for watching this Monday morning sip of coffee.
And so that gives you an idea of what the quality of content we're bringing. That was obviously down the business networking realm. And we have loads of content, loads of video content around those four realms of business operations today. And again, it's a value add to the Suncoast NPI members. A shameless plug, my business partner, and this is Rob Sloan. And we have a separate standalone company called Edgenovo. And we're bringing this content not only to individuals that are looking to stay in front of their customers and prospects, so we can actually white label something like that for you as well. And if you're a business owner and you're looking to sharpen your sales force or your employees, that's something we can do for you and would be welcome that opportunity. But we're here on Suncoast NPI, and so again, Suncoast NPI is really there's a lot of value adds for Suncoast NPI. But the first people that are really kicking the tires are like, hey, I want to grow my business, and really in an area it's hard pressed to say to where you can go in and be seated at a table every week with like-minded. Think of a mastermind with like-minded business professionals who are there to actually build you up, to lift you up, and be a sales force for you out on the streets for the other 6 days and 22 hours and 30 minutes of the week, and to help you grow your business. But it's so much more than that. And I know we're going to hear a little bit of a Fred Blake story here a little bit later on with Paolini, and I ask you tune into that because that's really at the heartbeat of what we're all about and the heartbeat of who I am and what we're looking to do to build this organization into the elite organization in the Tampa Bay area. So some of the benefits, so if you're out there listening and you're like intrigued, like, hey, I like the sounds of this, then all you need to do is walk into any of the chapters. You can find us at suncoastnpi.com. We currently have 7 chapters through the Tampa Bay area, and you come in there and use the hashtag free meal. You can have a free lunch or a free breakfast on us, and get a feel for what we're all about, and just lean in. We're no pressure. We're not going to put you in the back room and try to sell you on a membership. It's all about folks that are really interested in raising the bar. And again, we don't accept everybody. Like I said, we're seat specific. So what we're looking for are people that are rock stars in the category, that have a servant's heart, that are committed to the commitment to make these chapters thrive, and thrive in abundance, and an abundance in many ways, much more so than money. So the other things are, you know, we're a big conduit to give back to other people in the community. I can tell you over the last 2 years, the number is pushing 15,000 hours of community service that we've given back and poured back into the community here, and we will continue to do that. And it's just something that's really on my heart. It's one of the reasons we moved from California, was to come here and to slow down, to raise our kids who are now 13 and 11. Hey, Daniel. Hey, Haley. And to focus on them and make this a better place to work, to live, to eat, and play. And we love the Tampa Bay area, and we're most delighted to be here, and just to play a small part of making it a better place is what we're all about, and probably the #1 reason why I purchased this organization, again, which has been around 29 years in May. So come check us out, get a feel for us and what we're all about. But then that's just one of the things. The other thing is, you saw the education, right? So it's an education component. That's a value add to your membership, and also it improves your public speaking and listening skills. And then another thing is really to increase your ability to act as a resource to clients, customers, friends, and families. And then the other thing is really be around professionals that you otherwise would not know. So we really encourage you to lean in. We're excited that you're watching our show today. We can't wait for you to see Sam and Chris and Bobby here in just a few minutes. And just come see us. Come see what we're all about, and you'll fall in love with it. I'm Jon Marshall. We're Suncoast NPI, and our tagline is, when we pull together, we all win.
MPI.
NPI.
NPI.
NPI, Network Professionals International.
Suncoast NPI. Hi, I'm Ben Kogenauer with Mangrove Realty. I've been in real estate for over 10 years, and with my company Mangrove Realty for over 8 years. Joined NPI about 3 years ago, and it's been a terrific resource for me to help me grow my business and to grow myself as a business owner.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Dittman with Brightway Insurance, the Dittman Agency, and I do property and casualty insurance. I started with NPI in 1995.
Hello, I'm Paul Friedlander. I am the account executive with Total Title Solutions. I've been involved with NPI now for just a little over a year.
My name is Sarah Shupp, and I am a banker at Synovus in Oldsmar, Florida. I have been a member of MPI for 2 years now, and I am about to start my 3rd year with them.
Hi, I'm Robert Paolini with Berkshire Hathaway HomeServices. I'm a residential realtor, and I've been with NPI, Network Professionals International, for 2 years.
Suncoast NPI motivates me every week to grow my business and impact my community. I become better as a business owner every week, every meeting. I learn something new every meeting. I get something out of every meeting.
One of the biggest things that stands out to me is the family aspect of it. I'm not just going to breakfast with people that I don't know. I'm going to breakfast with people that I know, like, and trust. And I know that when I refer one of my customers of influence, that they are going to be in good hands. And it's not going to be a write-off, no call back, no show kind of thing.
Honestly, the relationships are great, but they're second to the results that you get. In fact, just this year alone, I've gone from number 8 in the office to number 1.
NPI is unique in the sense that the first time I walked into the chapter that I belong to, there were about 20 to 25 people in that chapter. Normally a small chapter, but I knew the people in there. I knew the power of the synergy that was in that room, and what that has related to over the last year has related to over $34,000 in thank you for closed business back to me.
Or every week that I meet with the friends and family that I've gotten to know, and we pass referrals. This year alone, I've closed over $40,000 in referrals from my NPI chapter.
Hi, my name is Jon Marshall. I'm the owner of Suncoast NPI. We're a locally owned, seat-specific, world-class, 28-year young referral networking organization with a community look and feel. As the owner, I'm not so much interested in the membership check. I'm interested in the member. We're here to make money as members, but more importantly, we're here to give back to the community to make it a better place to live, work, and play.
My dad is the owner of Suncoast NPI, and as he always says, when we pull together, we all win!
Hey, good afternoon, good morning. Jon Marshall, Suncoast NPI. We're back, and we're getting into our second segment today, and the feedback, again, we're having with Suncoast NPI ITV is off the hook. So if you're not leaning in, you're crazy. This is all about Sam. This is Sam's time to shine, and I'm so delighted you're here, Sam. But going back to Suncoast NPI, right? We're a seat-specific organization, so somebody that's rock stars at what they do, and that's what you and your business brings to the table. So we appreciate you being a member, Sam, and then somebody that has a servant's heart and it's giving back. And I've already heard stories with you on hightailing it up to Tallahassee to help out a referral partner, and so that shows a lot about your heart and your integrity and who you are. And so with that, let's take this all in, make it the Sam Show. So tell us a little bit about you. I know you a little bit, and you got viewers out here that are like, who's this guy Sam? I know he's a rock star. I know I've seen this guy around in a band or something. But who are you, Sam? Thanks for being here.
Absolutely, John, man. I'm so glad to be here. You know, I'm glad to be a part of this, and I'm glad that I could help Carol out in Tallahassee there. And you know, that's really why I started my company in the first place, was to be able to give back to those that have helped me in the past, and to be able to provide a good service to people in not only in need, but you know, a good quality product and a good quality work ethic to provide my customers with the best, you know. But as far as me, I was born and raised right here.
Right here?
Newport Richie.
Wow.
Yes, sir. I'm a native, man.
Wow.
I've been many other places, but I've always come back here. I love it here. It's my home. You know, you see many crazy stories about Florida. Don't believe the hype. It's great. It's a great place to live, great place to grow up.
Yeah.
I spent my days on the water right here fishing, and that's my favorite pastime still to this day.
That's awesome.
Yeah. If I could quit life and just fish, it'd be okay with me.
I hear you. I hear you. But you're not there yet.
I'm not there yet. No.
Just yet.
I'd be honest with you, I don't know if I could ever really do that. You know, I'm not that guy that can just stop doing anything.
Gotcha.
I mean, I own the company, and I'm still out there in the field every day. If you see my hands,
yeah, I see them.
They're cut up and bruised up from working. So
that's awesome, Sam. Hey, so just dive in a little bit about. I mean, there's a lot of companies out there that do what you do. So let's dive into what you do specifically. Tell us about your company.
My company is Second Opinion Cooling Service, as you can see in the background here, our logos. So I named it that because I work for many big companies, and not that those companies were bad companies. They weren't. You know, I don't. You know, I'm sure you have some bad companies, but I don't see any company as necessarily as a bad thing. You know, maybe mismanaged or whatever.
Right.
But I don't think anyone goes into business and says, you know, I'm going to provide bad service to somebody. It just doesn't happen. You know, so it just somewhere along the line it ended up like that. So. I just wanted to start my company so that people basically had a second option. You know, if someone went out and they were told, hey, you know, this thing's ready for the graveyard, you know, they could call and say, you know, I really need a second opinion. Then they look on Google and they say, oh, here it is, Second Opinion Cooling. I'm calling these guys. So, I get a lot of calls from that.
I bet you do. It's a really cool name.
Yeah. So that was basically my thoughts on the matter, and I wanted to provide a good and honest service that was based upon integrity, you know, and once again, good work ethic. I am in the field at all times, and I never want to be that guy that gets to where he's not out there. I at least want to be out introducing myself to my customers and speaking to them, and you know, saying, hey, you know, I'm the owner. You know, we're glad to have your business. Thank you very much. And so. Basically, that was it. I just wanted to provide a second opinion for people who otherwise might not have known any different. Because, you know, the AC world is something that's pretty proprietary to that field. There's not a lot of other trades who know about the AC field. It's pretty specific.
Gotcha.
You know, and even other tradesmen will call an AC guy to actually do the work, because you know, you can go on HGTV and figure out how to patch your drywall.
Yeah.
But I don't suggest messing with your AC or electrical for that matter.
Yeah,
either.
for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
so-
cool. That's awesome. And so, you know, hey, you're looking good. I'm just telling you, you're looking good today. When you're out in the field,
I clean
you're
up
not,
nice, right?
you know, yeah, you clean up amazing, man. So you're not out in the field like that, right?
No.
Look
not
at you.
out
That's
like
awesome. Tell TV, and this guy's like, boom, he's bringing his A game. I love it. And so this didn't happen overnight for you starting this thing. So how about telling us how you got there? How did you get to where you are today?
A lot of hard work, really hard work, a lot of long hours. I worked, because I didn't start with a bunch of collateral or capital. I didn't start with a bunch of capital.
Okay.
I didn't start with a bunch of money. I actually grew up rather impoverished as a child. But my parents were both very hard workers, and they instilled that work ethic into me. So I didn't have any money to start with. So long hours and hard work is what got me to the point that I'm at. I worked for another company, and I would go out at night and run my own service and take care of my own customers as well.
Wow.
And sometimes be out till 12 or 1 in the morning, until I was ready to get to that point to where I could jump ship and just go totally with my own company, you know.
Yeah, that's awesome. I appreciate you sharing that. And that kind of tees up the next question, really. And you already kind of explained some of what differentiates you and your company within the marketplace.
The biggest thing that differentiates me and my company are we are solely family owned and operated.
That's awesome.
I actually didn't intend that to be that way. I intended to solely take care of all the business myself. I actually didn't want to become very big, but we started getting so much business that I just couldn't handle it all myself.
Right.
So as time went on, some of my other family, my wife and my sister, saw me struggling, and they are actually out in the field, which is another big difference we have. I have 2 women out in the field doing the manual labor, and they are busting their butts every day. I can't thank them and praise them enough. They are incredible. Absolutely have been nothing but a godsend, because not only do they work incredibly hard, but they treat the company as if it's their own. They treat those customers as if they're their own customers.
Right.
You know, I don't have disgruntled employees going out in the field and worried about whether they're going to do a good job or not. You know.
That's amazing.
That is awesome.
Yeah, and I've had the privilege of meeting your sister, and yeah, she's great. She's awesome. So thank you for sharing that, and that tells a lot about who you are, your company, and what you're all about. And yeah, I appreciate you sharing that. What do you think? What's something that you're really proud of? You'd say you're almost most proud of?
Most proud of? Definitely my company and the growth that we've achieved. I didn't, you know, looking back 10 years ago, I was solely a working musician back then. I solely played music for a living, so I never, you know, actually it was about 15 years ago. I never back then would have looked into the future and said, I'm going to own an AC company or anything else for that matter. So I can honestly say I'm very proud of that, and I'm proud of the fact that I've become something that my father and my mother can be proud of, you know, as well. And I've been able to give back to anyone who has ever helped me in the past.
That's awesome. And again, that goes back to like the heart, right? And that's what we really look for all of our members, to have a servant's heart. And it's, yeah. And I just want to give a shout out to NPI. That's one thing that really made me want to be a part of NPI, was the fact that you guys give back to Habitat for Humanity and do things for the community. That was a big plus for me. I really liked being able to do those things. Very cool. Yeah, I appreciate sharing that. Yeah, we actually put a number. It's like 15,000 hours we put back in the community over the last few years now.
I can't wait to be involved in it. Really
Very cool. And I can't wait to have you. So what about this? What would you say is the biggest risk you've ever taken, Sam?
Whew, that's a loaded question, John. I have been not scared of risk my entire life. So I once, when I was 12 years old, climbed all the way to the top of the electrical tower. And,
yikes.
I don't know what possessed me to do that, but I did. So I have had no shortage of risk in my life.
Wow.
But I would say definitely the biggest risk was jumping out on my own without having any capital or,
Right.
or anything to, you know, that was a big, I was really nervous about that. I was not being able to provide for my family and those around me, or not even being able to provide for myself. Not having the promise of a guaranteed income or anything. That was the biggest risk I have definitely ever taken.
Wow, I mean, that is huge. I mean, that's the story of an entrepreneur, right?
Yeah.
And jumping out there and doing that. You mentioned music. We might come back to that here in a minute, because I'm really intrigued with that. I'm intrigued with all of it, but I'd like to hear more about this. We have like a couple more minutes.
Sure.
So you want to talk about maybe what your most famous or inspirational quote may be?
Yes. I don't know the key to success, but I know the key to failure, trying to please everyone. And I say that quote with a grain of salt because I don't mean in a negative way. I do believe that you need to try to please you know, your customers and certain people in your life, but don't let it get to the point where you can't differentiate between things that are dragging you down and things that are helping you move forward, you know.
Yeah.
And for a long time in my early years, I could not differentiate that difference, and I did let a lot of people drag me down. And I had to come to the point in life where I had the ability to make that determination of what was good for me and what wasn't. So if I could offer any piece of advice, that would be my biggest piece of advice.
Yeah, that's a big one. You know, and I've got kids. I'm trying to play. You know, a pastor says, "Show me your friends, I'll show you your future." And we always say, like, the difference between now and 5 years from now are the books you read and the people you associate with.
Absolutely, birds of a feather flock together. That's for sure.
Amen. And so we have a minute. Do you want to talk music at all, or you want to share a little bit more sound bites on your second opinion? Your call.
Well, you know,
I'd like to hear music. Let's hear it, man. Your dad owns a store.
Yeah, my father owns a guitar shop, Clay's Guitar Shop. It's in Tarpon Springs, Florida, and I've solely been a working musician for a good portion of my life, and I still play music in the community now. I just do it more for fun than anything now.
Right.
But you know, it's one of my greatest enjoyments, and I love being on the stage. I play about 17 different instruments.
17, wow.
But I'm mainly the lead guitar player for two fairly well-known bands around the area, and I love it. I really do. And you know, it's actually, I would not be able to be sitting in front of this camera if it weren't for music, because it brought me to a point where I had no fear of speaking in front of people, and I just love it. I really do.
You rocked it. Great job. Suncoast NPI, that's Sam, Second Opinion Cooling.
MPI.
NPI.
MPI.
NPI, Network Professionals International.
Suncoast NPI. Hi, I'm Ben Kogenauer with Mangrove Realty. I've been in real estate for over 10 years and with my company Mangrove Realty for over 8 years. Joined NPI about 3 years ago, and it's been a terrific resource for me to help me grow my business and to grow myself as a business owner.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Dittman with Brightway Insurance, the Dittman Agency, and I do property and casualty insurance. I started with NPI in 1995.
Hello, I'm Paul Friedlander. I am the account executive with Total Title Solutions. I've been involved with NPI now for just a little over a year.
My name is Sarah Shupp, and I am a banker at Synovus in Oldsmar, Florida. I have been a member of MPI for 2 years now, and I am about to start my 3rd year with them.
Hi, I'm Robert Paolini with Berkshire Hathaway HomeServices. I'm a residential realtor, and I've been with NPI, Network Professionals International, for 2 years.
Suncoast NPI motivates me every week to grow my business and impact my community. I become better as a business owner every week, every meeting. I learn something new every meeting. I get something out of every meeting.
One of the biggest things that stands out to me is the family aspect of it. I'm not just going to breakfast with people that I don't know. I'm going to breakfast with people that I know, like, and trust. And I know that when I refer one of my customers of influence, that they are going to be in good hands. And it's not going to be a write-off, no call back, no show kind of thing.
Honestly, the relationships are great, but they're second to the results that you get. In fact, just this year alone, I've gone from number 8 in the office to number 1.
NPI is unique in the sense that the first time I walked into the chapter that I belong to, there were about 20 to 25 people in that chapter. Normally a small chapter, but I knew the people in there. I knew the power of the synergy that was in that room. And what that has related to over the last year is related to over $34,000 in thank you for closed business back to me.
For every week that I meet with the friends and family that I've gotten to know, and we pass referrals. This year alone, I've closed over $40,000 in referrals from my NPI chapter.
Hi, my name is Jon Marshall. I'm the owner of Suncoast NPI. We're a locally owned, seat-specific, world-class, 28-year young referral networking organization with a community look and feel. As the owner, I'm not so much interested in the membership check. I'm interested in the member. We're here to make money as members, but more importantly, we're here to give back to the community to make it a better place to live, work, and play.
My dad is the owner of Suncoast NPI, and as he always says, when we pull together, we all win!
How do you know when to start?
Hey, I'm Jon Marshall, and we're Suncoast NPI ITV, and we're back. And I have Mr. Chris McKinley across from me, and this one, I've been waiting for this one for a while. So I'm delighted that he's here. But again, Suncoast NPI for TV, it's an incredible opportunity. You need to jump on this. But we're talking, this is all about Chris. We're NPI. We don't accept everybody. We accept people that, it's seat specific, right? So people that are rock stars in the category, and that's you, sir. And people that have servant's heart. And I know you and your family, and you guys have like one of the biggest hearts ever. So I'm delighted to have you as a member. And the commitment to make the chapters thrive. But this time is all yours. And I know it's a week after your second anniversary.
Yes,
You're in your third year, man.
Yeah.
Wow, congratulations.
Blowing up.
Blowing up. So I know you pretty well, Chris. I love you to death. I love you like a brother, your brother in Christ. And your wife, Jamie, she's amazing. Your kids are awesome. And but not everybody else out here knows you. If you don't mind, why don't you share just a little bit? Tell me about Chris Mills.
So as you just alluded to, yeah, I'm married. I have a wife, Jamie, of 10 years. It'll be this year. I have 3 kids. I'm a recent Dunedin resident.
Yes.
I just moved to Dunedin recently, and I love it. It's an amazing town. Getting to know the ins and outs of the town, which is kind of cool.
That's awesome.
I'm a sort of South Florida alumni. Go Bulls.
Go Bulls.
Through that, I became an
no, never mind. I didn't do that.
I know. It's okay. Go Bulls. But I got my undergrad and graduate degrees from South Florida.
Awesome.
In engineering, and I'm a professional engineer with the state of Florida.
Gotcha. Very cool.
Licensed mold assessor with the state of Florida. And I'm a sinkhole investigator and a sinkhole specialist. I've done like 5 years at least of training and 300 plus sinkhole investigations over the years.
300 plus?
Yeah.
You got a lot of little titles going on back behind you.
Yeah,
I know we're going to drive into that a little bit. That's cool.
A couple things going on.
But at the core, you're an amazing man and a good human being, and you're just awesome. So thank you for sharing that and telling everybody else out here. So how about you? What about your company? Let's dive into that.
So the name of my company is McKinley Engineering Consulting.
Okay.
It's named after my youngest son, McKinley. McKinley Mills, and like I said, we're celebrating our 2nd anniversary last week, which is amazing. I can't believe this has gone as far as it has, and has been as it's a blessing.
Wow, yeah, that is a blessing.
We specialize in geotechnical engineering, structural engineering, and forensic engineering. And this was our goal with this company. Me and my wife started this, and she's been kind of the right-hand VP, CEO, whatever you want to name her. She has really taken the steering wheel on a lot of this, and we really wanted to be a liaison between customers, clients, and contractors.
Gotcha.
And just to be able to provide unbiased support for people.
Gotcha.
Because we have no skin in the game. We're just an engineer, and we're just going to kind of tell you how to do it.
Right.
We're not going to try to profit on a sale or anything along those lines. So it's kind of like a middleman.
Gotcha. That's cool. I appreciate sharing that because it is unique. It is something that's a little bit different. And so with that said, what do you see as the top 3 problems homeowners actually call you for?
So yeah, a lot of the stuff that we see, we deal with realtors a handful because they will look at a house, or a home inspector will look at a house, and they'll call out certain things.
Right.
Certain things that are kind of not in their wheelhouse, the home inspector's wheelhouse. So specific items are cracks in walls, cracks in flatwork, which are concrete slabs, patios and pool decks, stuff like that. We also get a lot of calls for moisture intrusion or different moisture intrusion areas. A big one is vapor transmission through the slab.
Right.
If your water table is high, and if you have wood flooring, it can really damage your wood flooring if it's not done properly. And a third thing that we get called a lot about is permitting. People need to get permits for different reasons.
Okay.
And we can help facilitate most of that process. Some things maybe too complex.
Right.
We try to stay towards the somewhat lower end of things. I'm not going to design an 8-story building at this point. It's just, it would swamp me and it would take everything from me.
Gotcha.
But I will get there at some point.
Yeah.
So yeah, needing permits and being able to get things through the different municipalities in the area.
Gotcha. Very cool. Very cool. And I think we have some pictures teed up. And so I want to dive in and help tell a story, some recent interesting projects you've had going on.
So yeah, one we just finished was a tiki hut that was in Tarpon Springs. And there's a picture of it there. It was a very basic design. Not anything too complicated. However, because it is a permanent structure, it needs to be permitted through the municipality, which was the city of Tarpon Springs. And they needed to have footings and a structural analysis, and needed to be able to withstand 140-mile-an-hour winds, which is the design criteria for that area.
Okay.
Another project that we did was it was a remodel of a house in Dunedin.
Okay.
Just recently, it just finished. We have a before picture and an after picture. That's the after picture. That's the before picture. And you can see the roof line is a little bit lower, has some different areas going on with it. That porch is kind of segmented with posts and everything. And then in the after picture, took out a lot of those posts, kind of cleaned up the roof line, and vaulted the ceiling on the inside to create that open area look.
Gotcha.
Which
Very
looked nice.
cool.
So I think they did a good job. We primarily did the design of it, and then they kind of took it from there.
Gotcha. Awesome. It looks amazing. And I know one of the things you said earlier about some of your background, and one of the things you mentioned was sinkhole. And we live in Florida, and we live in this area, and sinkholes a lot of time is top of mind.
Yeah.
How about, you want to tell us a few of those sinkhole stories? You mentioned over 300 plus.
Yeah. A couple interesting ones were there was a sinkhole in Spring Hill. So back in the heyday of sinkhole investigations, there was a lot of activity going on, especially in Spring Hill. Well, there was this one time where we had a sinkhole open up underneath a drill rig. We were exploring for a sinkhole, and next thing you know, sands like through the hourglass. Like time through the hourglass. And sand was just funneling through this hole, and it was 30 feet deep and probably about 15 feet around at that point. And it was pretty amazing just to see the vacation and the disappearance of this material.
Absolutely.
Another one that was really cool was this Temple Terrace house. We did a house, and they had open areas around the property where they had sinkholes already open up in the middle of a subdivision. So this isn't like in the middle of the woods or anything. This is in the middle of a subdivision.
It's crazy.
You walk through one of the houses, through the dining room in the house, and they have a china cabinet up on the wall, and it sounded like it was a hollow slab, like it was like you were walking through a raised foundation. If you ever know a wooden framed house that's on a raised foundation or a second floor, you can feel footsteps. It sounds like pounding.
Right.
Well, this is what it sounded like, but this was a concrete slab. So what did that indicate? There's nothing below that concrete slab, and there was a huge void right below these folks' dining room, which was very scary.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you didn't want to really get too close. Had to take everything very sensitively when we were doing exploration. And then we did this church recently, where it was in Tarpon Springs, and a sinkhole opened up again underneath the drill rig while we were exploring for it. The drill rig collapsed into the building because it lost its footing.
Right.
And it's a tower rig, and it fell over into the building, broke these custom-made hand-blown glass windows. It was this beautiful house that it had fallen into, and created a huge void underneath this building.
Wow.
That had to be shored immediately, or the building would have collapsed.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It's pretty.
And those are three of a lot of stories I have.
Yeah.
So we have a couple more minutes here. So what differentiates you in your company within the marketplace, Chris?
So I feel like as a Christian and as a person that has the servant's heart, being an MPI member, I feel like I have a lot of integrity with what I do. I've had to decline a handful of jobs just because not only is it not in my wheelhouse, but more specifically, it is not something that I want to associate with. It's kind of in that gray area where it's probably best undone. And I'd be willing to, and I'm able to not have to take those jobs. Just
That's
because
awesome.
it's not worth it for us. And another thing that we do is we love to just help people. We look for these opportunities to be able to help people. Like that's what the whole permitting thing is, that we want to get these things pushed across the finish line. We want to help people be able to get their projects to fruition. That's the goal.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I'm going to talk about some goals.
So our current goals are we're trying to build relationships, cultivate these relationships with our current clients. We have a handful of really good clients that we do a lot of work for. And we'd also like to get maybe a handful of newer clients that we can build those relationships with.
Gotcha.
We don't have thousands of clients like some people have that are in the commercial business, real estate, or even HVAC. There's, you're going to have multiple customers, but we have, a handful of people that we deal with, probably less than 20.
Gotcha.
But we get the majority of our work from those 20 people.
Okay.
And they just, when they have a problem, they come to us. And that's what we want. We want you to, that's what we want to be for our clients, is if there's a problem, this is where you come to.
That's amazing. So I tell you what, we have less than a minute. Why don't we close out with why don't we close out with your favorite famous or inspirational quote?
Okay.
Is that cool?
Yeah. I'll try to make this as quick as I can, but you can be, well, my famous inspirational quote, I'll just read it for you. I feel like everybody is a genius, but if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, I'd always think it's stupid. And that's by Einstein. And we all know that Einstein is not a stupid guy. But if you put people in certain categories, it's really easy to put people in boxes and classify them. But if you put them in the box, that's really taking a lot away from them, because they're more than just that thing that you think they are.
Yeah.
So take the leashes off, take the binding off, and just be free. Be able to do what you want to do.
You're awesome. Chris McKinley, McKinley Engineering, thank you. Congratulations on your third year.
Thank you.
MPI.
NPI.
NPI.
NPI, Network Professionals International.
Suncoast NPI. Hi, I'm Ben Kogenauer with Mangrove Realty. I've been in real estate for over 10 years and with my company Mangrove Realty for over 8 years. Joined NPI about 3 years ago, and it's been a terrific resource for me to help me grow my business and to grow myself as a business owner.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Dittman with Brightway Insurance, the Dittman Agency, and I do property and casualty insurance. I started with NPI in 1995.
Hello, I'm Paul Friedlander. I am the account executive with Total Title Solutions. I've been involved with NPI now for just a little over a year.
My name is Sarah Shupp, and I am a banker at Synovus in Oldsmar, Florida. I have been a member of MPI for 2 years now, and I am about to start my third year with them.
Hi, I'm Robert Paolini with Berkshire Hathaway HomeServices. I'm a residential realtor, and I've been with NPI, Network Professionals International, for 2 years.
Suncoast NPI motivates me every week to grow my business and impact my community. I become better as a business owner every week, every meeting. I learn something new every meeting. I get something out of every meeting.
One of the biggest things that stands out to me is the family aspect of it. I'm not just going to breakfast with people that I don't know. I'm going to breakfast with people that I know, like, and trust. And I know that when I refer one of my customers of influence, that they are going to be in good hands. And it's not going to be a write-off, no call back, no show kind of thing.
Honestly, the relationships are great, but they're second to the results that you get. In fact, just this year alone, I've gone from number 8 in the office to number 1.
NPI is unique in the sense that the first time I walked into the chapter that I belong to, there were about 20 to 25 people in that chapter. Normally a small chapter, but I knew the people in there. I knew the power of the synergy that was in that room, and what that has related to over the last year is related to over $34,000 in thank you for closed business back to me.
Or every week that I meet with the friends and family that I've gotten to know, and we pass referrals. This year alone, I've closed over $40,000 in referrals from my NPI chapter.
Hi, my name is Jon Marshall. I'm the owner of Suncoast NPI. We're a locally owned, seat-specific, world-class, 28-year young referral networking organization with a community look and feel. As the owner, I'm not so much interested in the membership check. I'm interested in the member. We're here to make money as members, but more importantly, we're here to give back to the community to make it a better place to live, work, and play.
My dad is the owner of Suncoast NPI, and as he always says, when we pull together, we all win!
Hey, I'm Jon Marshall, Suncoast NPI. We've had an amazing show so far today, and I know we're not going to be disappointed how we're going to finish this out. Bobby Paolini was with us last week, and people love this guy. They love his analogies, they love his story, and they just love who he is and what he brings to the table as a professional, but more so as even as a human being. And I'm delighted to have Mr. Paolini back on today as well. And so, you know, like last week we kind of talked to like the home buyer, and I think this week we want to kind of tie in and talk specifically to the realtor and talk a little bit about your book. Is that cool? Let's do
Awesome,
this.
thank you.
Look at that.
It's already up on the board.
Look at that. Good talk, great sales. So you want to jump right into this?
Yeah, absolutely.
I think we should. So. What are some of the biggest problems that most realtors have today, Mr. Bobby Paolini?
I would say, especially if you're new, and I'm speaking to realtors, so if you're watching, it's either no income, you're just getting started, you're fearful, or where are you in the curve of things, right? The fear of a shifting market, or is it even possible to make money? But a lot of them who don't have either of those problems are more or less wanting better results.
Gotcha.
So we call those conversion rates. And I teach classes all the time where people are learning to do that. But most people who teach those classes, they practice reading scripts. And scripts don't do scripts. We have a big sign in our office that says scripts and then the Ghostbuster thing and right through it. Because yes, you don't want to practice on your clients. Yes, you want to be genuine, but there is a better, more delayed, gratifying way of doing it. It's internalizing it. I believe Abraham Lincoln was quoted saying, if I was given 6 hours to chop down a tree,
right,
I would take 4 hours sharpening my axe, right? So it's, you don't have to, I mean, you want to hit the ground running, but that doesn't mean you have to run away from yourself and try to help a lot of people. And when you read a script, yeah, you might be getting that other agent, that other expert's axe,
right,
but you don't get the stone, you don't get the grind, you don't get it to refine it and keep sharpening it. So when your new realtors are using those scripts, you're finding you're not converting anything. It's because those tactics are dull. You don't own them. You haven't internalized them. It's even biblical. Jesus started his crusade with 3 words, you follow me. Could you imagine if we tried to sell a house with 3 words? So it's not the words, it's who's saying it. And the 55-38-7, I'll finish with that. 55% of all communication is visual, right? You're already kind of figuring out who I am just based on my bow tie. 38% is tempo and tonality, and only 7% is really based on the actual words we use. So good to know.
That's great to know. 55-38-7. And so drop the mic moment.
It's a fact.
So you are a rock star realtor. You are
Thank you.
An amazing author. You got a book, man. Good talk, great sales. Right?
I love it.
So how does your book help those agents avoid or overcome those problems?
The book itself is kind of like a coach in and of itself, and it has a sequence the way it reads. The first part is all about mindset and the big why for all of this. The second part is the daily internal actions and habits we can include and why we should do that in our lives. And then the third is the physical application, and no matter what industry you're in, you know, how you can apply those principles to what you do. And principle is a key word there, because I don't teach closes like the hammer close, the honest close, the laughing close, the dominant close, they're principles, right? So if I'm asked what my experience is, it really doesn't matter. If all my choices are based on principles, they're going to be good forever. They're infinite. It's like what goes up must come down. Between the fall and the spring is the winter. There's nothing we can do to avoid it. So in time, in years ago, if we want to talk about experience, let's go back to the 70s, 30, 40 years ago, right. Bell bottoms were really popular, very effective at that time. Today, probably not. You know, maybe in 5 years it'll come back, but literally, probably not today. So time in and of itself, experience doesn't do it. It's using those principles, and the book you can always reference over and over again.
Yeah, that's very cool. So you want to dive into it a little bit further, mainly about, so tell the people out there, not to give it all away, because you need to go buy it, right?
No, I'm actually going to try and give it away for free.
You're going to try giving it away for free?
As long as I can afford it.
All right. I want a signed copy.
That you're going to have to pay for.
All right. Good talk, great sales. What's it mainly about?
Well, it is a good talk. But I think I noted, we talked about this earlier, but my publisher says you want to be more specific. So he said, you know, really what is that going to end up doing for them? So we thought of great sales, but it's not a book on selling. It doesn't teach you how to sell. In fact, I don't sell. I'm not good at it either. It's really about communication, building, and cultivating relationships. And in that environment, opportunities to create sales will come abundantly. And you know, my miracle story was even how I got involved with Network Professionals Incorporated, NPI. I was doing my thing, just praying, hoping for the best, putting one foot in front of the other. And an awesome man by the name of Richard Green, who is part of NPI, had helped me and my family with what he does for a living and as an attorney. And just for whatever reason, just thought to invite me to the Clearwater branch. And that is where understanding the power of relationships, cultivating and building them, that seed was planted, and wow. I am sky high now.
Wow, that's awesome.
Thanks to NPI.
And I love Mr. Richard Green. He's the greenest law office in Clearwater.
He is, and I love him to death. Great guy, and give you the shirt off his back.
Absolutely, and that's the epitome of NPI members. So how about this? Bring it back into the realtor. What is one thing an agent can start doing right away to start getting better results?
That is I think my favorite part. Remember the Oprah Winfrey quote from a couple weeks ago? We are defined by the way we treat ourselves and others. So start within. Nature grows from within. It's not trying to, the root of a tree is not trying to grab the apple just yet.
Right.
You know, the seed is planted in the fall and it has to survive that harsh winter, and it can grow in the spring. So with yourself is really where you want to start. Start with the books you read, the people you talk to, eat right, be healthy, take care of yourself, right. and do what you can with what you have. So if it's just being kind to everyone you meet, or if you give yourself that time to read a book and learn more and lift yourself up to the person you need to be to begin moving forward. And to me, I think it's really about removing your doubts and finding answers to your questions.
Yeah, that's cool. And I appreciate saying that. Actually, something we said last week was, I don't even know who actually came up with this quote. It was like, the difference between you today and 5 years from now, the books you read and the people you associate with. So it dovetails exactly with what you're saying. And, you know, being around a lot of like-minded people, and you used the word abundance earlier, which I absolutely love the word abundance. And so, yeah, I appreciate your being every time. So you're very connected. Your skill set is quite high. So to some that are out there, it could be a little intimidating. Right? So they're like, hey, I want to lean in, but that guy Paolini, he's a friggin' star. So what if the agent that reads your book really doesn't have your skill level or your connections yet? What would you say to that?
Oh, I would love someone to ask me that question sincerely, because the answer is they do have it. That the key to success is not so much something that we're all born with, or something that is some miraculous thing that people are just so lucky to be able to do. It's like, oh my gosh, he's talking on camera, and how does he do it, and this and that. It's not about that. It's not about me. It's about delivering to the client. And my book is not teaching people how to sell. It's teaching people how to be themselves. And that is how you cultivate and build relationships. And that's how you have good talks. It's just basically the business of being nice, doing something for other people first without any need to get something back. I'm not that old. I've been married for 15 years. I've been with the same wonderful woman for almost 20 years. And it's the same principle that makes that work is the way business relationships work. And you just swap out love for compassion.
Yeah, that's well said. Well said. Very cool. I appreciate sharing that bit of wisdom. How about tying it into Suncoast NPI? We talked. You hit it a little bit. You mind going further there? How Suncoast NPIs fit into your growth and your success?
Well, starting with Richard Green, who, if it wasn't for him just saying, "Hey, do you want to come to this little networking meeting?" and because I was just getting into real estate. And who would have thought? But the biggest thing was what happened last Christmas. We had remodeled some things in our house, and my wife was hosting and throwing this huge Christmas party for friends and family. And literally, like probably 2 weeks before Christmas, she decides that maybe we want to renovate the bathroom. So it's like, okay. 2 weeks left in the year, it's almost Christmas time, we're going to get a contractor, and if anyone's trying to hire a contractor for anything at any time of the year, it's impossible. And unless you have 20 grand off the top, they're not going to return your call. But with Network Professionals Incorporated, it's all built on relationships, so the gratification is not by the one sale. When another professional is doing something for money, but for that other professional, they're doing it for future relationships, future opportunities, right? So they'll go above and beyond, and it's not about the almighty dollar in that instance. So I call it the Fred story. Fred is an awesome guy. He's with NPI, and I was in a bind. I called Fred. Fred, you're my contractor. I need a full bathroom remodel, and I need it in 5 days. He goes, oh my gosh, my books are filled. I don't know if I can do it, but I'll work it out and I'll really try. So he does. He calls me back and he says, I'll give it a go. Long story short, he's there working every day. Here it now is Christmas. It's like 2 days before Christmas Eve, and our party is literally the next day. And the bathroom is almost done, but not quite. What does Fred do? And I couldn't have paid enough money to get this and have this happen. Money would not have done it. Only relationships would do it. Like a couple hours into that day, I'm coming back to the house, and I walk in the bathroom, and there's 3 men in the bathroom.
We got 30 seconds, and let's go on.
Fred's son, Fred, and his dad.
Wow.
3 generations of Blakes in my bathroom, getting it done that day. And I said, why didn't you hire anyone else? He goes, because it's almost Christmas Eve. We wanted to be with family and take care of you. Wow. They finished the bathroom. We had a great event, and it couldn't have happened without the relationships with Network Professionals Incorporated.
And that is Suncoast NPI wrapped up, and that's the time for today. We're Suncoast NPI TV, and yeah, we're here to make money, but it's so much more than that. We invite you to come see us. Thank you, Bobby Paolini. Suncoast NPI, when we pull together,
we all win.